OnslaughtRadio.com. Backstage at Bloodstock.
This is Onslaught Radio. I'm Natalie and I'm backstage at Bloodstock where I'm talking to Kev, who's the guitarist and keyboardist in the band Hell. Hi Kev, how's it going?
Hi, yeah, nice to be here.
And you guys opened up the stage this morning, the main stage. How was that for you?
Well, the compere said it's the biggest crowd he's ever seen for an opening band on a Sunday, so it says it all really. We just had a blast. It was just great, you know. So and thanks to everybody that supported us. It's fantastic. We had a really, really good time.
I mean, notoriously coming to Bloodstock every year, I noticed that sort of Sunday morning, everyone's a bit hungover, everyone's tired, no one wants to get up for the first band. So if you had a good crowd, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just mobbed all the way from the kind of front rail all the way to the back. So it was fantastic. And thanks again to everybody that turned out to see us. God knows why. I'm just kidding. That's good.
And what have you guys been doing sort of before this year?
Well, as you're probably aware from the band's history, I mean, we actually stopped playing in 1987, and it was only really through the intervention of Andy Sneap, who's obviously a sort of Grammy Award-winning, mega famous producer, who was a big fan of the band sort of back in the 80s, and he always felt that the band had never really had the break that they deserved. And obviously myself and Dave Halliday, the sort of late guitarist of Hell, were kind of big influences for him. And once he sort of arrived at a position where he'd got a reputation in the studio, I thought, right, I'm going to do something with this. And he'd already been in touch with Tim, the drummer, and Tony, the bass player, in kind of social circles, but nobody really knew knew where I was. And it was just one of these kind of chance in a million encounters, really. I went through the divorce from Hell a number of years ago, which kind of resulted in me losing contact with my son for about 5 years. And when we finally got reunited, this kind of little chubby kid had transformed into this 6-foot tattooed metalhead, and he started playing me all these albums that Andy had produced. Nevermore and Exodus and all this kind of stuff, and I'd got no idea that Andy had gone on to become a producer. And I said to my son, this guy used to follow us around, and he said, yeah, right, So he actually contacted Andy on a forum to find out if his dad was telling him the truth or not, and of course he was. And I was kind of the kind of final link in the chain. So we got together. We just started, jamming a few of the old tracks just for fun, really, with no kind of aspirations. And we just kind of worked on it in blocks of 2 or 3 songs at a time, every time Andy had some downtime. And, we ended up with this album. And once Andy started, shopping it around amongst the record companies, suddenly we had 5 labels bidding for it. I mean, we had, Nuclear Blast, Century Media, Metal Blade, Candlelight, and one other. And we thought, right, we should really start taking this a bit more seriously. And the rest is history. And here we are, main stage at Bloodstock. It's just you couldn't make it up, really. It's...
I mean, you're one of the very lucky few, aren't you? There's not many UK bands that are signed to Nuclear Blast anymore.
Well, that's right. I mean, Nuclear Blast were always, because obviously Andy's hugely experienced in the business, and he's kind of worked with Nuclear Blast on a production capacity for 10 years. So he knows the guys and he knows the A&R people, and as I said, they were always his first choice as a label. I mean, the marketing is brilliant, the distribution is fantastic. They've obviously got the offshoots in the US and Japan, and they're really, well, they're the biggest metal label in the world. It sort of says it all, really. And in fact, when Andy first sort of took this album to Nuclear Blast, initially they said, yeah, it's just amazing, but we're not in a position to do anything. Again, it was just a complete stroke of luck. And I think it was the Nightwish album that got delayed. So suddenly they'd got all this kind of capacity, and we were literally about to sign on the dotted line with Metal Blade on a Sunday night, and we had a phone call saying, don't sign anything. And Monday morning the contract arrived, and again the rest is kind of history, really. So it was it was great.
I mean, obviously you told us about the band effectively disbanding a long time ago. It was 87. How does it feel coming back after such a long time and seeing that many fans, that many Hell fans?
Well, it's just freaky, but in such a good way. Honestly, I cannot describe the feeling, I mean, I'm rendered speechless, which trust me is really unusual for me. But it's just amazing. But I mean, the most important thing to stress is that, even though a lot of people are kind of aware of our kind of first 80s kind of incarnation, to probably 90% of the the metal band public, we're a brand new band, which has just released its first album. For that reason, we're very, very conscious of the fact that we have to go out and tour and work hard, just like any other new band. And obviously, to be given an opportunity to do something like this is just brilliant. And in fact, in point of fact, we would have done a lot more shows this year than we actually have done. We've done, I think, like 8 of the kind of big European festivals, including this one. And as you're probably aware, most of these festivals book the bands a year in advance. Now, obviously, because our album didn't come out till the middle of May, we kind of missed the boat, really, in terms of the festival. But I mean, there's just shed loads of stuff that we've been booked for next year already, which I can't quite announce yet. But it's all good. It's great.
So other than the things you can't tell us for next year, what have you got planned for the rest of this year?
Well, we've got a day off tomorrow, and then we're off to do Summer Breeze in Germany. And then we've got another little break because it's Andy's work commitments. We've got a little club show in Dublin. Then we're out to do the Sweden Rock Cruise on a ship, just a ship full of drunken Swedish metalheads, which should be good. And then we're straight off the ship and we go to Athens, and we've got a show in Athens. And I think that's about it. We've got a gig in London in December with Sabaton. So I think that's just about it for this year. And again, it's because we've all still got day jobs as well. So it's just trying to keep all these balls in the air at the moment. So which is a nice problem to have, obviously. So.
Obviously, most people don't get the opportunity to go and play metal on a cruise. Are you looking forward to that?
Big time, yeah, big time. I mean, yeah, it is. Lots of free beer, and we get to do what we love as well. So, and we get paid. So, it don't get much better than that, does it?
So, would you say that Bloodstock has been your highlight so far?
Yeah, I mean, this has definitely been our finest hour. And again, when you kind of look at the band on stage and you think, it's so tight and together. It's only the 8th gig we've ever played. That's a lot of people have said that's kind of scary. How good are these guys going to be in a year's time? When they've done kind of 60 or 70 gigs back to back. But it's like the 8th show we've played, and it's just been brilliant. I mean, the crowd were just fantastic. Speechless again. I'm sorry I'm not saying very much.
No, it's all good, don't worry.
Yeah, it's just so cool. It's so grateful. I can't believe it, really.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for talking to OnStar Radio, Kev.
You're very, very welcome. It's been great to talk to you. And again, thanks for everybody that came and supported us today. Thank you.